What's up, everyone? We got ourselves a group here that should be quite exciting. As a matter of fact, for those of you that have been following us at all, just saw us all together on a webinar. And here we are. We said after the webinar, we had such a good time that it was time to grab a drink. And since all we can do is drink virtually these days, here we are. So we got Scott Payne and Mike Eshelman, right? Am I pronounce that right?
Eshelman.
Eshelman. Yes, that's okay.
He
you
is
know
the
my last
echelon,
name.
though.
Nobody even uses my last name. So welcome, guys. Welcome to Bourbon and BS. We are excited to have you here. I'm excited to drink. And I just started recording when Scott was about to share something about what he's drinking. So Scott, go for it.
Yeah, so this is actually was a client gift from Sales Boomerang to a Sales Boomerang client who I happen to know really well. Is actually my brother-in-law who works for Castle and Cook. So he got this, and he tried a little bit of it, and then he said, "Hey," I actually told him about this. I need to borrow your bourbon. I'm not a bourbon drinker, so I told him I was going to borrow it. Now I don't know if I'm going to drink it or not, but as a backup, I brought my go-to, which is Austin East Ciders, Texas honey cider.
Nice.
That's your so you're a cider drinker. That's your thing.
Since March, since COVID kicked off, I tried it maybe a little bit before, and there's this app called Drizzly. Where
Drizzly, I've heard about it.
Yeah, so I'm a VIP client of theirs now. No, I'm kidding. Oh, kind of kidding. But it's a beer delivery service, and so you order online, and it's like DoorDash guy comes with a small case of alcohol for me, of course. It comes in.
So it's a car payment every single month. It's an additional.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Yes, but that would happen with or without the delivery, right?
That's true. Yeah, that's true.
This is just easier now.
Yeah, it's actually probably cheaper, than going out and doing all that too. So yeah. So I'm gonna pour it and act like I'm drinking it, but then in the background I'll be drinking the beer. You'll see.
Yes, I like it. We'll pretend you're drinking bourbon. And so, Mike, what are you drinking?
So I'm a beer guy and wine, but so this is Supplication. It's a brown ale, a sour brown ale from Russian River Brewing Company that they age in Pinot Noir barrels.
Ooh.
Comes with a nice little cork and all. So
that right there, ladies and gentlemen, is fancy beer. Okay, that is the champagne of beer. And I will have something that is actually from the Game of Thrones, guys. From the Game of Thrones.
Wow.
Yes. And the reason I picked this out, first of all, it's a single malt Scotch, which is awesome. But I love dragons, and there's dragons on there. So you know what? And can I tell you something? Great decision. This tastes amazing. So for those of you that do like whiskey, bourbon, and Scotch stuff like that, this is amazing. So please check it out. Find it at a bottle. House of Terror. I've never seen the Game of Thrones, by the way, so please don't. No judging. Does anybody know the name House of Targaryen? I don't even know how to pronounce that.
I saw the first season so far back, and then just didn't continue on. So I have no idea.
Oh my goodness! People are just going to criticize us now. They're like, "What? These three haven't seen Game of Thrones?"
They're going to eviscerate us.
This is crazy. What do you guys think? Who's in the South? Anyone? You're not in the.
Yeah, I'm in Texas.
You're in Texas. So did you lose power for 5 days?
We were on for an hour, off for an hour for three or 4 days.
How's that possible? How come you're the only one that I've heard say that? Everybody else said they were off.
So I think we have a special co-op here where I'm at, and I think, I don't know for sure, but I think they kind of managed it to turn on half and off half, for everybody. And literally it was like on the hour, like 1 hour, in between time. And so luckily it was enough to keep the house warm enough. It was like 50 degrees in the house. We didn't have any issues with pipes freezing like a lot of our neighbors did who didn't have power. And so, we just kind of, I wore a coat the entire time, pretty much wore a coat to bed. We all shared it. Me and my wife and two kids, we took the guest room and they slept on the floor. We slept in the bed, and, we put the towels underneath the door and windows just to keep all the heat that we could, in the middle of the night. And, we made it work. It was a little different for sure here in Texas. And, but it was funny how every time the power would come on, we all would split. I'd run to my office, turn it on, start knocking out emails. Kids go to
That's
their,
funny.
TV, YouTube, whatever, and then power goes out, and we come back and meet together again, and we, play. We actually taught the kids how to play poker, and we made the
Wow.
most of it. It was good.
Yeah. Now, what's interesting, I got to tell you something, guys. I play a lot of chess. Okay. And so I was playing a guy from Vietnam, and he starts writing in the chat, where are you? And I said, I'm in Maryland. And he goes, is that really close to the South where all the stuff is happening? He's like, oh no. He's like, are you close to Texas? I said, no. He's like, I hear it's crazy there right now. And I'm like,
Vietnam.
like,
Wow.
that's
Halfway
made
around the
world
world.
news. Like, this is world news right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was seriously like, he's like, okay, good. So you're safe. I'm like, yeah, I'm all right. But Texas made world news. Mike, do you have friends or anyone in Texas that you connected with, or?
Yeah. I got some former colleagues that are now out there working for a few different lenders and stuff. So yeah, they all fared reasonably well considering, but some frozen pools, some busted pipes, and finding friends' houses that were near, I guess schools are on a different grid or something. And so houses around schools were able to stay connected. So, but yeah.
It was actually mainly hospitals, because that was kind of the joke here now, was that's going to be another like selling option when you're buying a house. You're going to try to find a house near a hospital so that you don't lose the power.
All of a sudden, can you imagine Texas advertisements? Live near a hospital. Don't worry about busted pipes from freezing cold weather.
Yeah.
Like, I moved to Texas to stay warm. You're telling me I got to live somewhere.
Exactly.
That's amazing. I'm supposed to be going to Texas actually, end of May, beginning of June. What should I expect weather-wise?
It's gonna be hot by then. Yeah, I think you can expect that for sure. Yeah, June. Yeah, we're looking 100 degrees, and
You're looking at 100. Yeah, Austin is going to be about that.
Oh yeah.
Okay, interesting.
Yep.
Yeah, I want to check it out. I have a friend. We have a few friends over there, which actually they did okay in this whole thing. One of my friends though, who was visiting, he went down there the day before it all happened. He was there for some business, and it all got canceled, obviously. Sure. And he was staying with a friend in a condo, and he said, Alex, like when the water went out for 3 days in this condo, people were like peeing in the hallways. The entire condo smelled like sewage. Yeah. Because they were just, and I thought to myself, like, wouldn't you just go outside? I mean, I don't know. Like, wouldn't that become the first choice if nothing else works?
My parents were taking snow and melting it, so they'd have water to flush the toilets. So bring a bunch of snow in, let it melt, and then that's what they used to flush the toilets, because they didn't have water for 3 days, 4 days.
Yeah, that's smart. That's smart stuff.
It's crazy.
Now, what do you guys think? I normally don't talk business on this kind of thing, but sometimes we get into. Do you think we're going to have a live event this year?
Yes,
I think so.
For sure. Yeah. Like, and you're talking about like a well-attended, more than 500 people.
I have my eye on at least NBA annual in October in San Diego. I really hope we're live by October.
Yeah. Me too. I'm just wondering, it keeps getting pushed back. There was some stuff that was supposed to be in early summer that already got canceled.
Yeah. Our summit in May, Jornaya has one in Philadelphia.
That's right. Yeah.
That we did virtual last year, and we decided to do virtual this year in May. Because we felt that would definitely be too soon. But I mean, my goodness, if we can't get there by October, I'm going to be so bummed.
Yeah.
Well, I got some good news for you guys. I spoke to a client today whose wife has the vaccine, has gotten the Pfizer vaccine. So advertising for Pfizer right now. We'll expect some free medicine from you guys. But his wife got the vaccine. He went on a ski trip and got COVID. Came home, because you don't know you have it, right? The whole thing, blah, 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 hanging out, no problem. All of a sudden he's feeling sick, gets tested, positive. Wife got tested, negative.
Good.
So that's the first time I've heard that. And I was like, and you're not hearing it from the news, right? It's not like you read about it somewhere. This guy's telling me, I'm like, that's amazing. So I'm like, Brian, that like, so you would say that it works. He's like, I got no reason to say it doesn't, because literally we're in the same house and sleep together and all that, and nothing. She got nothing. I'm like, well, that's great news, because you never know, you don't know what's going to happen.
We just need to hear more and more of those stories, right? To build some confidence back up in people and get back out. So
Yeah.
yeah.
And so is it, I don't know if anybody knows this or not, but is it still just the frontline people that are getting it, that have to get it?
No, so out here in California, we're right now 65 and older. And then I think March 15th, it's like 16 and older if you have some underlying conditions, or pregnant women are going to be allowed to get it at that point too.
Right.
So, at least out here, that's opening up. And I know the Johnson & Johnson vaccine just got approved like in the last couple of days, and that's a single shot.
Nice. That's quite competitive. Can you imagine the competition going on there to win those contracts and to be able to, I mean, the pharmaceutical industry is probably going nuts to get this out there. They're going nuts.
Yep.
Yeah, because guess what? Nobody's getting flu. Nobody had the flu. So all the sales of all the medicines are way down. Everyone is just hanging out at home. It's kind of interesting, right? It's like nobody's getting sick except for COVID. And then COVID, there was no vaccine for it. So now they're fighting for that little piece of land. That's one industry I would never want to be in, is the pharmaceutical industry. It's way too crazy. So if it wasn't for mortgage, what would you guys be doing?
Ooh.
So
I was going to be a teacher out of college and be a coach. I had a lot of my buddies who were coaches here in Texas, football coaches. I really just wanted to teach, to be honest. I thought I'd maybe coach a little bit on the side, but I wanted to just go be a teacher. And when I graduated college, one of my good friends had started at a mortgage company back in the subprime days and said, "Hey, you should try it out." And so I went and tried it out. The rest is history. Never went back to teaching. But
were you part of the M5 mafia? Everyone back then that made money in the subprime days all bought M5s.
No, actually, I didn't. I was actually what really stuck
so true.
to me.
So true, isn't it?
Yeah, it's true.
It's so true.
For me, I started at a subprime company, and we had a division that did lending tree leads that were like Fannie Mae loans, essentially. Like we were competing against other like really good rate companies, and we were a subprime company trying to make it in the prime world with subprime overlays on top of DU findings, all of this stuff. We did it. It was really strategic, and it worked out really well for the company because fast forward to the crash, we had already had everything figured out on how to do a Fannie Mae loan. All of that stuff was ready to go. So we were really quickly able to shift.
Nice.
Here I was selling lending tree leads, selling lending tree or working lending tree leads and trying to convert them with crazy rates. So you really had to learn how to sell, and you really had to learn managed leads. So I think maybe that shifted my career in some way. But no, I was the guy driving the old truck from college while the guy sitting across from me who was doing subprime loans was driving the M5.
That's right.
Whatever it was, yeah.
I'm telling you, we'd pull up to a nightclub and there'd be 3 M5s, and you don't even have to guess who's in it, because the one says MTG man, okay, on the license plate. The other one says number 1 MTG, and it's like, dude, we get it. You're in mortgage, and
So I through college and after college, I was I interned at Morgan Stanley. So I was going to go down the financial advisor route.
Okay.
And so I guess that's what I would be doing today if I weren't in mortgage. But what happened is I got a call from a recruiter who said, hey, you're on the phone, you're selling financial products and everything, but do you have any idea how much money these mortgage people are making? And I drove into the parking lot for the interview. And I mean, the cars,
bunch of M5s in the parking lot.
Totally. The cars were just insane.
Yep.
And I saw some friends that I knew from high school, and it's kind of like, if they're making that money, I can make that money.
Yeah,
definitely. And so, yeah, I got started as an originator, and it was, working lending tree leads, 100% leads being fed to you. And, unlike Scott, I was selling incredibly low rates of like 5.5, 5.75, 30-year fixed loans. It's amazing what low rates were back then. But yeah, I mean, that was my, and we had a subprime division. I was in the prime division, but we had a subprime division. And I mean, the cars they were driving were like head and shoulders above what everyone else in the company was driving. It was ridiculous.
And they were 9% raised with 10 points on them, but that's how they we're able to
Yeah,
afford those
and
cars. Yeah.
I remember one specific license plate was section 32, which if you know mortgage from way back then, that means you violated how much you can charge someone. Like it exceeded the limit of what you can charge someone. And
Oh
of
my
course,
gosh.
that was going into commissions. So the more you charge, the more commissions you made in that division, at least. And
Wow.
so his license plate was section 32 because he would max out and just figure out the exact dollar of what it would take until he hit that section 32 violation.
Oh my
That's
gosh.
crazy.
That's a slap in the face.
That's a
No
whole,
kidding.
so, I mean, it was the wild, wild west. I mean, like you could do whatever, as long as you knew how to communicate and sell the value prop, you could just make whatever you want. And then all the and because of that, the regulations changed, right? I mean,
Yeah.
that was,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, that's because I was not in the industry then at all. And I just, all my friends were. I mean, I can't tell you how many people they were just, so I had a marketing company then. And they, and all my friends would just be like, listen, what are you doing? Like, come on, close this company and come work here. I'm like,
Yeah.
no, man, like I love marketing. Okay. So I don't care about mortgages. I care about marketing. I just want to create awesome things for awesome companies. That's all I want to do. I should have probably done that on the side though. Should have just done some more, just a few mortgages on the side.
I mean, I was doing prime loans and that's what I stuck with back then. And it's fun. Like I was closing like 35 loans a month.
Mm.
It was just a pure because you would also throw 10 loans against the wall. 9 of them would fund. More than half of them you would originate and never hear from again until you got the email saying the Johnson file funded. You're like, who's that? The processors would take care of everything. It was amazing.
What's the wildest story you have about funding someone that today couldn't even look at a mortgage? Like, what is like the like had to be something stated income, right?
I didn't, being in the prime side, it was W-2 savings
Oh,
account,
you did. You had
stable
all that.
job. So that was my bread and butter. But like,
Yep.
I definitely heard those stories where, I'd hear the people say, oh, you're a janitor. Well, how about you are the VP of sanitary services and just inflating the title to
Get out of here.
to get the because you're going stated income. Well, a janitor doesn't make $120,000 a year, but a VP of sanatorial, whatever,
yeah,
they would do that. And
and think about it, that's not even that long ago. Like we're talking about this was
yeah. I mean, this was 2006, 7.
Yeah. What about you, Scott? Anything where you're like, you are going to be a VP now?
No, it's the same as that. Like we had the whole, those types of, with DU and all of that stuff, we had to set requirements. We had to have, what stung for us is we had all of the, again, subprime overlays they wanted to throw on this. We were saying, hey, DU says this, we don't need all this other stuff, but they still did it. But I think in kind of looking at stuff, like just the amount of people who would refinance every year and they would pull out enough cash to make their payments and then having a little cash to kind of live, and how the people just were living on that equity over and over and over. And that's how we got, to where we're at. The values go down and here we are. So it's really sad, but let
me switch
California.
topics on you guys for a minute.
Yeah.
Are any of you on Clubhouse on the app?
Not yet. I'm hearing more and more about it though. I'm interested.
I mean, listen, they got funding from the right kind of investor, right? Horowitz invested in there. What's the full name? Andreessen Horowitz. Yeah. I mean, and 100 million, that's not a small amount.
Yeah.
So I checked it out early on and found it complex. There was some back and forth going on with people that were trying to be heard. One person didn't finish, and hey, I didn't finish yet. And it was like, well, wait, you've been talking. And I had a couple of those experiences and I had to step back. And then I just came back and listened to a pretty cool call. It was something about startups and entrepreneurialism and stuff like that. And it was really cool. And it was really well managed. I wonder if everyone is on mute. This person says they're leading, and then they, and then it was cool. So now I'm thinking, okay, maybe it's time to try something. But I was wondering, you guys are out and about, see if you guys have had any experiences, but it doesn't seem like it.
Not yet.
Yeah. I've seen the Housing Wire guys are doing some stuff with it, Clayton and those guys, but I haven't jumped in yet.
Yeah, that's right. You know what? I'm going to be on that with them. When is that? That's coming up. There's something coming Friday. I think Friday they do something every
They do it
Friday.
Fridays, I think. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. So for the speakers, so the summit that's coming up, yeah, definitely. I'm gonna check it out. I want to see what it's like. But here's an innovation, right? Like what's next? And what's wild is it, if you think about it, it kind of took a step back, right? We
Okay,
have we have this, we have the MySpaces of the world that turn into Facebooks. Then you have the LinkedIn's that's also very specific, very purposeful for business. Then you have the Snapchats and the Twitters, and now you're going kind of backwards where it's just phone, right? You're just talking, right? There's no presenting. There's no like, my presentation is better than yours, or my setup is better than yours. It's just voice. That's interesting to me. Like that. And what I like is the community part of it, that it's like, it's just open, just dial in. You don't need, you don't need to give me permission to be part of this call. I can just listen in. I like that. I do. I think that's a really cool concept. I'm wondering where how they're going to scale this thing, and at what point is it just a phone call? You know what I mean? So I'm interested to see what happens. I mean, I'm a big fan of innovation. You guys seeing anything else innovative? What's like a technology or an app or something you guys have seen that's like, wow, that's awesome? Anything?
I was mentioning before this, the for those who have a podcast, not even a podcast, it really this StreamYard that Alex
That's right.
has talked about, and really, like, if you haven't checked out what Alex doing, it's really cool. Like the marketing newsletters, he has like a whole like tips and tricks of stuff. Literally, I've done like 3 or 4 things he has in there. One of those is the StreamYard app, and it literally shows you how to set it up and how to do it. It's really, 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 really good. So I've set that up. I've recorded 2 podcasts on it, but I don't even know, like I think going forward, all of the pain of recording a podcast, editing it, getting it published, doing all this stuff. I think the future is this like LinkedIn Live, YouTube Live, and you can all do it through StreamYard, where it's just publishes, it's all right there. And when it's done, it's on there. It's done. You can do banner ads, all this stuff, kind of have stuff prepared. I did 2 of them, and I didn't do it live. I just recorded it, but I see the value in doing it live and having it like that. So I can, I see that as an upcoming, and it doesn't even be a podcast. It really just can be a discussion of some kind, or a new way of doing a webinar, if you will, but doing it live where people can ask questions live, that kind of thing.
Yeah. Anything Mike, have you seen anything that just blew your mind?
Nothing really that's just blown
like,
my
this
mind.
little company called Jernaya is doing wild.
Yeah, right. Let me have another drink here and get more into happy hour mode. I mean, look, if I surprisingly, not a lot of people have heard about it, but I don't think it's really new. But I use it like all day, is the Marco Polo app. And
I've never used it, but what is it?
It's almost like video text messages, basically. So my mother-in-law watches my 2-year-old during the day while my wife and I work, and as he's out playing around or doing something, she'll just record on Marco Polo, and it gets broadcast to my wife and I, and we can either watch it live, or if we're busy, we just refer back to it later. So we can kind of feel like we're connected to a little bit of what's going on for the day. And, my wife uses it to, she has, 6 or 7 really close girlfriends that they talk all the time. And when they can't get together live, on Zoom or anything like that, Polo, so that, whenever you can get to it, you can get to it. So that's kind of more in my personal life, what I've been using quite a bit of. And you set up groups, like I have my parents, and then I have like, my parents, my wife's parents, to show stuff that my son's doing. It's I mean, really around my son and all the stuff that he's doing while he's growing up. But I love that.
Marco Polo. I've heard of it, never used it though. You use it, Scott?
So I don't use that. What I was going to say is I stole it from a loan officer that I work with, who uses Bomb for recording like videos for their clients. I took it, and I now use it for my clients. So rather than just typing a long email with screenshots and how to do this, I'll just jump on and record a quick 5-minute video, walk through with screenshots. It has my picture down here. So it's personable. It's actionable. They can save it. They can view it whenever they need it, and it's not, again, taking a ton of time from a typing perspective. So I think that's really interesting for what I'm doing.
Yeah, I hear a lot of good things about what they do. So and do you notice that people actually open it and watch it? Do you have that kind of analytics?
You know how far they watched it? If they watched the whole thing? Yep, absolutely.
Beautiful. I love that. I love that.
Don't tell my clients that. I don't want to know I'm tracking them, but yeah.
Yeah, we will keep it a complete secret. No, they should know. Listen, hey, you know what? If you're working with someone and you send them something, you want to know they watched it, right? Like, what's the point of you putting all that effort into it if they're never going to watch it? So yeah, you should know. So listen, clients, when Scott sends you a bomb, he is checking that you watch 100% of it. Okay,
Watch it. That's right.
that's exactly right. That's I would actually say that right when I send it. By the way, I know how much you watch, so watch it all. You requested this, Mr. and Mrs. Customer, so please watch the whole thing. It's about that time.
Well, yeah. So it actually has come up in that kind of aspect where they come to me and say, "Hey, this isn't working. Did you watch the video?" And I know what they're going to say because I already looked. No, they didn't watch it. Oh, I'll watch that now. Okay, cool. So
what about when they say, "Ready here"? We're going to really put them on the spot. Listen, clients of Scott, watch this. What about when they say, "Yeah, I watched it," and you're like, well, the analytics must be broken, sir.
Yeah, I'll just take the same video, send it back to them. Yeah,
let me contact Bomb customer support because obviously they're not tracking the information properly.
Right.
Screenshot the unread by and then just show it.
Yeah, that's right.
Yep.
Oh my gosh. You guys doing any personal travel? Because I know we're not traveling for business, but you guys doing anything personal?
Yeah, go ahead, Mike.
Yeah, I just I know Scott's answer.
Scott's I took a trip to the liquor store. No, I don't anymore. They just bring it to me.
Yeah. My wife and I, we bought a house in July. It's 50 miles north of LA. And so we just moved in a few weeks ago after doing a remodel, quite a remodel job. So, I mean, this has been consuming our lives for a while, as you know, doing the remodel and all that other stuff. And then just getting in here and getting settled. It feels like a vacation, you know, being in the new house.
Congrats.
So that's kind of, given us, we haven't had that real travel bug because of it. So
we got the Mike Eshelman exclusive, everybody. That's awesome. that's listen. So you found a house. Is this a dream house? Is this your forever house? Or is this a grow into, the next house?
He's a farmer now, right?
Insert pandemic, right? And it changes everything. Like I've been working from home for a while and used to travel. My wife's going to be working from home at least a couple of days a week, probably, once everything returns back to normal. But going into LA is totally commutable if it needs to be. And so we didn't ever really think we were going to be living outside of Orange County or LA, and here we are. But it gives us a lot more space, a lot more square footage to where, I mean, it was actually a dream house. So we plan on this being a forever home for sure.
That's awesome. Isn't that the best? There's something about it. Like you find a house or you build a house and you decorate it and it becomes yours. And there is something about just knowing that you're in a house that you love, right? That's the thing that this industry is all about. But really, it's about the consumer feeling that way, not about us making the consumer feel that way. We have to just make sure they have an easy process, right? But that's fantastic. Congratulations, man. That's exciting.
Thanks.
That's exciting. What about you, Scott? You out and about?
Yeah. So funny story. So we, our kids were remote learners up until January, and having them here at the house and working from home and all of that since March, we had come across an opportunity to purchase a motorhome, and so it actually came about. I actually bought it from one of my clients who I've known for years, and he made me a great deal on it, and he actually let us borrow it to even try it out. We drove up to Pittsburgh, took my in-laws up there to see their family. So we were able to stay at hotels, stay at restaurants, stay at gas stations, all of that. We could just stay in the RV, really safe, COVID travel friendly. And so when we came back, he made us a great deal on it, and we ended up taking up on it, bought the RV. And we've done now, so we, with the kids being remote, we drove to Arkansas and went to like a really nice RV resort and had good Wi-Fi. So the kids were able to do school. I was able to worked out great. We then a couple of weeks later drove out to New Mexico here from Texas.
Oh my gosh, that's so cool.
In the mountains there in the summertime or fall, I guess. And so we did that. It was amazing. Again, Wi-Fi worked there. Kids, everything was remote and it worked out great. And after the kids were done with school, I'd cut out work early. We'd go do stuff in town or whatever, and then we drove back. And then the big move was, or the big vacation was, I had planned on when I started my business being a consultant the goal was that I wanted to be able to take at least 1 month off and just take off and go spend time with the family somewhere, go drive and do a road trip. Well, I was going to do that in July. It didn't work out. Business was crazy, so I couldn't do it. So I went ahead and set a date like in August. I said, the business is shutting down on Thanksgiving Day, and I'm not going to come back until like the second week of January. Sorry, clients, but I've got to go. I'm doing this. I'm going to look back and not do it. So if I don't do it now, I'll look back. So bought the RV. We'd already done this 2 trips, and I said, we're going as far as I can go. Where's the furthest I can drive? The furthest I can drive is Key West, Florida. And so literally mile zero. So we went and spent a week, and we left on Thanksgiving Day. We drove all the way out to Orlando for a week, stayed at Disney World, and they have an RV park there, really nice ones. We stayed there for a week. And then we got back in the RV, drove 6 hours south to Key West, and we stayed in Key West for like 3 weeks, right on the water, spoiled ourselves. Great memory.
Everybody take note. That's how you live life, baby.
It was great. And I did
Now
a
you
little
need
bit
to
of
come
work.
out the other direction. Come out to California.
That's right. That's the next plan. That is definitely this summer, probably. Actually, we're going to do that. I think, really what I learned from it was, I've always wanted to take off, but I realized how much I like what I do. I really enjoy what I do. And so I ended up working a little bit. I didn't plan on it, but I found myself missing it. And there were certain things I wanted to be able to jump in and do, and I could kind of pick and choose. So I really missed it, and I was able to still do it. The kids had a little bit of school, so I was able to get back in and keep stuff going. So anyways, we took our time back. We got it all the way back. We came back right before New Year's. We actually came maybe back a little early. We planned. Kids were a little homesick because we were literally gone for 5 weeks away from the house and living in the RV. So
honestly, what a great way to be. And you know what's cool? I think it's becoming a trend. Maybe it's been happening all over the place. But I'm hearing a lot of people talking about it, and now we're going to do it too, is a road trip. Okay. Yep. So now it's just validation that we got to do it. So here's the game plan. In the summer, we're flying from Maryland to Seattle, me and my whole family, which is 2 kids and my wife, and then a buddy of mine, who's actually also a partner in Sales Boomerang, him and his 2 kids and his wife. We're going to get either 2 vans or 2 Suburbans, and we're going to go from Seattle and drive all the way to Chicago.
Sweet.
And drive through all and see everything we can up on that northern part of the United States. Stop by parks, stop by, just do what. And now you sharing that, it just kind of validates that that's a game plan and we're going to do it. That's so cool. 5 weeks in an RV. That's funny story. So we came back from Florida. We stayed at a buddy's house in Florida in Siesta Keys, by the way. If you've never been, gotta go at least once. Imported sand from the Appalachian or no, not Appalachian. Shoot, I can't remember which mountains, but they imported quartz that was granulated into sand. The entire beach is quartz. It feels like you're walking on powdered sugar. Seriously. When we stepped on it, we're like, is this real? Like, is this really happening right now? And this is the first beach I've ever been to where people actually lay on the sand and not on a towel, right? Like all over the place. People didn't even have to. It was wild. But anyway, we just came. We were just there, and we were standing in the water, and the kids were playing. And this dude comes up, and he had 3 kids, and we started talking. And what they did during COVID, I think in April or May, they sold their house, jumped into an RV, and they've been living out of an RV, traveling the country since then. Yep. But the cool thing is his business is all remote, so he's good. Yep. But what's really cool is he actually is a top 10 Spartan racer. And so he travels the country towards the direction of where the next race is going to be, because he actually, I didn't know this. I don't know if you guys know this. Spartan will pay certain racers to attend their race. I had no clue.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they'll attend like top talent to race, so it brings up the talent of everyone there, and challenges them because there's good runners or good racers, and so he's been traveling the country.
I haven't got an invitation to do that yet.
No, not yet.
Me neither.
It's coming. Yeah. It's coming with the next beer delivery.
Sure. Yeah. Right.
This guy looks like he could run from Florida to Texas. Okay.
That's right. Yeah.
So no, it's awesome. What a cool thing. Road trips. I mean, I think that's the thing now. I'm ready to do that one. And then if that works, I'm ready to do more.
There's quite a few people. We go to these RV parks, and there's one in particular that actually put like their website, and they've turned it into like a whole social media thing with their kids. it's, I can't remember the site, but it's, you go there and it tells you the website to go to, and you can follow where they go and what they do and all of that. Same thing, sold their house and they just live on the road. There was multiple families we saw that were doing that, as part of this whole experience of what, trying to make the best out of the situation, right? It's kind of how we looked at it was, now it's expensive as hell, so I don't recommend it to anybody, but, sorry, I recommend it to a lot if you can do it, but it's just, it's totally worth the memory and all of that stuff of having the kids. Like, I'll never forget now driving the RV, right? This huge RV that I, would have always dreamed of having. And I look over and my 11-year-old daughter sitting there in the front seat with me. I'm like, this is awesome. And so we were doing one trip where she was doing, every time we'd go through a town, she would search for it and we'd pull up Wikipedia and we'd learn about the town, just random things about these small towns. We're driving through all the stuff. It was so cool. Such a great experience.
Wow, man.
All of that. It's just so,
that's
I don't think
fantastic.
we'll ever get to do it again. We'll see. Hopefully things get back to normal, but it'll be a summertime thing going forward, hopefully.
Scott, I have a question for you. Before, when you would travel a lot,
Yep.
you would go to ballparks. That was your thing.
That's right.
And you were trying to get to every single one.
Yep.
How'd that end up?
So I don't know if you can see up there, up top, I have all of those helmets. Those are
I see some.
miniature batting helmets from every stadium that I've been to. And so it's like the little helmet that comes in the ice cream.
Oh, I
So-
see. Okay, now I get it. Yep.
And so I ran out of room. And so now they're all sitting in this next shelf right there. And there's like 4 of them in there. So I have 4 stadiums left. And those definitely should be done in the RV. Because it's gonna be it's like Seattle, Oakland, some of those that are a little further away. So yeah.
That's cool,
See.
man. Every stadium, huh?
Yeah, so I Mike knows too, because I did it to him probably when he was my client back when I was at Velocify. But every time I'd say, hey, can you come on site? We'll do this and that. And the first thing I'll do is go to that wherever town they're in and look at the baseball schedule to see when the team is in town. And then I'd plan my business trips around that. And so I would go to, I don't know, 15 to 20 baseball games, throughout the country, even if I'd been in the stadiums before, every year, just trying to traveling around and making that work. And so, and it was so fun when I was at Velocify and I'd get a new account. I was always so excited to find out where their corporate office was. Right. And I'm like, yes, another place, I loved being up in the Northeast, Boston, Fenway Park and all that stuff.
yeah.
It was so awesome. I had to make lots of trips up there to go see them, make sure they were taken care of. So I was up there quite a bit in the summertime.
That's an awesome question, Mike. That's a good little tidbit to know. So 4 more to go. And so when you said you were going to be a teacher and coach, when you said coach, it was going to be baseball.
Football, actually.
Oh, football. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So those are football stadiums you're seeing.
No, these are baseball stadiums. I'm a both. Yeah, baseball fan.
Okay, got it.
I'm a big fantasy sports guy. So I love fantasy sports. I have a league with some buddies for the last 10 years. Even though Joey Liner.
Yeah, Joey.
I finally got into his league after years of begging. He finally let me in. So I'm doing that one, and I have another one that I've been doing with a number of years for some friends. And yeah, so really the baseball is I just like watching baseball mostly because I'm probably have some fantasy players in that game playing. So
yeah, shout out to Joey Liner. We'll tag him in this video. I haven't spoken to him in forever. He's in Florida now, right?
He's in Arizona.
He's in
Oh, he's in
Arizona.
Arizona now. Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yep.
He was in Florida though.
He was in Maryland and then moved.
Well, he was in Maryland because he was a double positive. Then he went down to Florida because of the acquisition. I forget. He went. I forget which company he went with. It's another marketing company.
DMS, but yeah, I think
DMS. Yeah, that's right.
He's at DMS now.
But in
yeah,
Arizona.
Yeah, he lives in Arizona. I don't know if I knew that he went to Florida or if he did, but yeah, that guy's awesome. He's a stud. I've had the pleasure of knowing him, since 13, 14 years now, maybe.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a cool dude. So listen, we're gonna wrap this thing up, but I do want to ask you some typically the typical questions of Bourbon and BS. I haven't done any of these in a long time of these questions because the last couple we kind of just been riffing with people, but I do want to know some silly questions. First of all, you have kids now, Mike, yours is young, but I have to ask this question. I'm a gummy worm kind of eater. So I'm a fan of knowing what kind of sour or regular gummies. Let's where do you stand, guys?
So I honestly I ate a lot of candy as a kid, and I try not to now. I mean, I have 2 kids who love sour, that's always in our house.
Okay.
So, but if there's ever a Skittles bag in the house, it's gone.
Forget about it.
And I usually hide it. I have a secret stash
Well, it's not secret
of
anymore.
Skittles in my drawer. Like I'll steal them and hide it in here so I can snack on them later. But it's all right
Got
there
it.
in my
There's
thing.
Skittles junkie. Listen,
Yeah.
that you know what we do. You might end up getting like a 10-pound bag of Skittles from Sales Boomerang. You know that,
Bring
right?
it. Yes, love it. Yep.
He's like, we don't see Scott anymore. Mike, what about you?
I'm both, but if I had to vote, I'm voting regular. I'd probably say, I mean, like right now, I'm on a sugar kick, and it sucks because I'm gonna have to get rid of this addiction that I have right now, probably for the last month. But I'd say every fourth or fifth time I go sour, but mainly I'm regular. Today I pretty much ate a whole bag of high chews, and I haven't had those things in I don't know how long.
Listen, my wife, so thank you for that. That's the high chews. I haven't heard that in a while. My wife, her favorite thing. So by the way, I'm regular also. So like I like the sour, but over time I'm like, I can't do it. So and there's some high-end gummies now. Have you seen these bags of gummy bears and gummy worms? It's like crazy.
Organic juice made everything. It's like $13 a bag or whatever.
Yeah. Yes, and you get 4 gummies.
The ones in Colorado are really good too, right?
There's also other gummies that I haven't partaken, but
that's right. Well, listen, and if you do end up sending me some of those gummies, please on the indica side, please keep that in mind, right? Anyone listening that wants to say thank you for anything, that's what I'll take. But my wife, okay, tell me last time you heard the name of this candy, if you've ever heard of this candy, Zagnut.
I don't think I ever have.
Oh my gosh,
wax wrapper.
It's like a shoot. I'm gonna run and grab it. I think we have. So she hasn't had one in years. We went to a mall. So our anniversary just passed, and so we all said, let's go to the mall because nothing. Let's go just walk around, right? And we walk into this candy store, and there they are. I'm like, are you kidding me? It's like, it's your anniversary. Have as many as you want, and it is so good. But I think the name. They need to rethink the name. They need to rethink the wrapper. It looks like it's from the 80s. The name and the wrapper. It's like red with bold lettering that's just plain, and it's just looks like something you've been keeping in your closet for 20 years. But that's her thing. And so when you said the chews, what was it again?
Yeah, let's see. I got the thing right here, man. High chew.
Oh wow.
High chew. Oh my gosh. Yes. So cat or dogs? What do you guys like more?
Dogs. I don't trust cat people.
But Scott's like, I gotta hang up now.
No, I'm a dog guy as well. We have a 15-year-old golden, just turned 15 years old, golden retriever.
Oh my gosh.
We got right before, it was actually right after we got married or right before we got married. It was a surprise to my wife. And then we had kids, and the kids have grown up and just love him. He's the best dog ever. And so now that he's a little older, they've already started okay, well, he's getting old. Should we go ahead and go ahead and bring a new one in so that way he can teach him all the stuff and all that? I'm like, no, not doing it. We're not doing it. One of
you don't want another dog, meaning you're like, after this one, you're done. You're so attached that it's going to hurt.
It's going to hurt for sure. But I also I want to be on the road. I want to travel in the RV and all of that and bring a dog along and dealing. Like we leave for a couple hours, you got to worry about that. I'm like, it's just too much. So, I've told them to find a neighbor that has a dog they like or something like that, so they can maybe
find a neighbor that has
it. But not really get one. I mean, literally, it's been like every once a week, I'm getting a picture sent to my phone. And it's funny. I actually responded to my daughter of absolutely. She said, can we get this? I said, absolutely. And then right after said not. Well, of course, she screenshotted the dog where it says absolutely. She's like, you said I can get one. We're ordering it now.
She brought you up the evidence. She's like, Dad, look at this.
It says it.
This is it.
Yeah.
And then look, this is one of my favorite. And by the way, boxers. My favorite dog is boxers. It's just they're little humans in a dog body. I don't know if you guys have ever spent any time around them. Amazing.
My mom has 2 or 3 of them.
Really? So aren't they're just for me? They're just amazing, right?
Yeah.
And Yorkies too. I have a big connection to Yorkies. I just like how smart they are.
Yeah.
Final question. Well, actually 2 more. And you guys have heard this one before, maybe. Pineapples on pizza, yes or no?
My wife, yes. Me, no. And I'll sneak one in, maybe just a little bit, just to try it. But
Really, Mike? What about you?
I'm in for sure.
I'm in.
I'm a pineapple on pizza person, although I haven't had it for a really long time because when it comes to eating, I'm not picky. So it's kind of like whatever everyone else wants, like, all right,
I'm in.
order it.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of people who it's blasphemy and they don't want it. So it's rare that I get it. I just, maybe the next time I need to speak up and go for it.
the real question
Oh.
is, what about pineapple fried rice?
Oh, 100% yes.
I'm
That's
kidding.
like,
I only
no
got
doubt.
that. I got that because I watched a couple of, I've been watching your episodes, and I remember you talked about that with Joe Wilson or someone like that.
Yes, Joe.
So
Yep.
anyway,
100%. Yes.
I never even crossed my mind to think about having pineapple.
Why not?
fried rice.
You
This
guys
is
have to
good.
watch the episode with Kristen Messarelli from Cultural Outreach. Now she's with Social Survey, but she says she will put anything on pizza. So I put a challenge out there. I said, hey guys, when you see her out, buy her. She said she will eat anything, just put anything on pizza, order it, whatever's, obviously nothing disgusting, but like whatever is available that they will put on it, she said she will eat it. So well, next time, I told Kristen, I swear, next time I see you, we're gonna find whatever, and I'm gonna go crazy. We're gonna put something on that pizza for you, and you will eat it. And we're gonna record it. We're gonna make it happen. So, guys, you guys have been amazing. Honestly, this is all fun. This is why we do this. We can't get a drink in person right now, and this entire thing started with just wanting to connect with people on a personal level and not have to talk business. And you guys are the best. So I appreciate it. And I always end the conversation with saying, hey, what are you guys gonna do for the rest of the day? What's the rest of the day look like?
So yeah, my son just started playing lacrosse here in Dallas, the Dallas area where we're at. So it's one of those up and coming sports here. So all the cool kids are doing it. So I'm going to go watch him play lacrosse during practice tonight. He's got his first game this weekend. So
nice.
He's much larger than the other kids. And he's been dying for a way to like hit them, in a nice way, but in an athletic way. So he cannot wait. We're playing a rival town on Saturday, and he just can't wait to go out and play him.
In Texas, lacrosse is big in Texas.
It's starting to get pretty big, yeah.
Because Maryland, East Coast, it's all
huge. Yeah.
Maryland,
You're
Virginia.
just starting.
Yeah. So Texas is getting there. That's cool. What about you, Mike? What's the rest of the day look? Probably. Let me guess. Hold on. Let me guess. You just moved into a house, so you're going to be unpacking.
pretty darn close. No, I mean there's plenty of boxes in the garage that we got to finish up, but it kind of got to the point where I can take, a few nights off. My wife can take a few nights off of just having all of these, the to-do lists lined up. I don't know. I'm going to try, I guess maybe I should try and get in a workout before I have another beer. And,
I figured you'd be out.
Spend some time running around the yard with my 2-year-old.
I figured you'd be out. What you're a farmer now, right? I can't remember the fruit. What is it?
Yeah. So I now have 2 acres of avocado trees. It's like
that's right.
200 trees or something like that. And you're actually right. I did mention that to my wife earlier. I was going to try and go through the grows because we today had like 50-mile-per-hour wind gusts. And a lot of the fruit is starting to get pretty ripe. And so I bet you there's a bunch of avocados on the ground that they're either going to go bad and rot, or I have 2 grocery bags full of avocados right now. So that'll probably be another 2 bags I'm going to go down and collect. I don't know. What else are we going to do? It's like wasted food if I didn't get it.
100%. So hold on a second. Let's rewind this a little bit. Did you buy this property because of these avocado trees?
No, not specifically. No, it was, look, we were looking at buying in LA, and then when COVID hit and we're like, well, we don't need to be in LA anymore. The world opened up in terms of having more space, having more land. And so, we saw this house and it happened to have 2 acres of avocado trees. It has grapefruit trees, orange trees, lemon trees. So with the grapefruit trees, we've had more salty dogs than grapefruit vodka with salted rim. That's been the drink of choice for like the last 6 months. Cause every weekend we come up here to check on the remodel and the tree is just flush with ripe grapefruit to pick. So we've been juicing that stuff a lot. It's been amazing.
Awesome.
Dude, what a gift. What a gift. Hey, you got a house, you buy a house and you get a farm. That's That's fantastic. Well, listen, enjoy the farm, enjoy the drinks, enjoy the game with your son, Scott. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much.
Cheers.
And enjoy the rest of the day. So we're gonna rock and roll. Thanks everybody for watching. And I know we're gonna get comments on not watching the Game of Thrones, but you know what? We're still not gonna watch it.
No
Thanks,
doubt.
guys.